Hello, and as they say on A Current Affair, thanks for joining us. This episode, we're going to give you 7 reasons to splurge on a suite on your next cruise. Our ship of the episode belongs to Margaritaville At Sea, which isn't a drink, isn't a song, it's a cruise line, believe it or not. Paul's been looking into them, and we'll have all the goss on whether or not it's worth trying out. Plus, he's also got some great deals available right now, and we'll check the latest cruise and travel news and hear about one of the world's most famous airline brands that hasn't been around for 30 years that took to the skies again this week. So, let's start the show!
It's time to get your cruise on.
This is Cruise and Travel with Paul McAllister.
Hello, I'm Steve, and with me is Paul McAllister, the chief dream cruise creator behind 101cruise.com.au, which is where you'll get the best prices on cruises around the world.
This is a podcast that takes you into the world of cruising and lets you in on the big cruising deals.
Yeah, that's right. Find out more by signing up for the newsletter on the website 101cruise.com.au. All right, that's a very impatient ship bell today.
It is, isn't it?
That signals a deal that you've found.
And look, would you like to get 85% off a Virgin cruise? It sounds too good to be true, doesn't it?
Sure do.
All right, so we have Virgin Brilliant Lady departing 3rd of October on an exciting 13-night sailing from Quebec City to Miami. Now, it departs, as I said, 3rd of October. It's 13 nights. You're going to visit some awesome places like the historical port of Halifax, St. John in Canada, the charming town of East Point in Maine, Gloucester, and you're going to go have an overnight in Charleston as well, and then finishing in the vibrant city of Miami. Now, this cruise would normally set you back $12,480, but at 101 Cruise, we have it on for $1,820 per person. Do you know how much of a saving that is?
Bloody hell.
It's huge.
Cheap.
It's very cheap, and it's a saving of over $10,000, and it only comes out at $140 per person per day. That's amazing, isn't it?
How many nights again?
It is 13 nights on Brilliant Lady. Now, just remember, Brilliant Lady redefines cruising with a sleek adult only, yes, an 18s plus only ship.
No kids.
No kids.
It doesn't mean it's a sex ship.
No.
Nothing like that.
It
just means no kids are allowed.
There may be pineapple magnets on the door, but don't worry about that.
On any ship.
Hey, look, you have 20 different dining venues. It's a really cool ship as well. So, and it's Virgin's newest ship out. So
okay.
That's
now,
great. You can also...
before the end of the episode, Paul is going to explain what pineapple magnets means. So there's a good hook to keep listening.
Yeah, okay. And look, you can also get a suite. They start from $4,927. Do you know what? That's a saving of over $19,000. So they're really great deals. Now, our second deal today is on Carnival Breeze, a 77% saving, which is incredible. Now, Carnival Breeze departs on the 22nd of September, sailing for 5 fun-filled nights. A round trip from Galveston in Texas, and you're off to Cozumel in Mexico.
Cozumel.
I never get that right, and this isn't going to be fun as well. Progresso. I've never heard of it before.
Well, why don't you hop on this ship and go there, and then you'll be able to tell
Then I'll
us
be able
what
to
it's
say it
called.
properly every time.
That's right.
Yep, that'd be good. Look, your brochure price for this normally is just on US $2,000 per person. But at 101 Cruise, get this, it's $454 per person US. That's a saving of $1,500 or 77% off, and it only comes out at $91 per person per day.
What do you reckon about that, Roof? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but
Bloody good deal.
If we could only take your roof, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Look, all these prices are in US dollars. They're valid at the 1st of August and subject to change in availability. If you're our airline crew, contact me at paul@101cruise.com.au and let's see what deal I can do for you.
Now the latest cruise and travel news.
The Silver Sea ship Silver Moon will be sailing from Melbourne to Fremantle in Perth, February next year, specifically on a 10-day cruise departing on February the 4th next year and concluding on February the 14th. This luxurious cruise, remember, it's Silver Sea, includes stops at Kangaroo Island and Adelaide and offers various amenities and services for its discerning guests, such as all-suite accommodations with private verandas and butler service.
Oh, don't you love a butler?
Yeah. The cruise typically includes stops, as I said, in Kangaroo Island and Adelaide before arriving in Freo. Prices start from around about $6,800. So if you're interested, I would reach out to Paul.
And I had just had a look before we went on the podcast to see how the pricing is going, and it's still at $6,800 US. Hey, but I did find for all our fans in Perth a really cool cruise out of Perth at the same time. So it leaves obviously on the 14th, the day it arrives in from Melbourne.
It's on the same ship, Silver Sea, Silver Moon.
Silver Moon, 9 nights, and it's travelling up to Singapore. So lots of sea days, which means you get to enjoy that amazing butler service. You're going to stop in at Bali and then on to Singapore, and that starts off for a superior veranda suite at $4,800 US per person. Now that's a really good saving considering the other cruise was, 10 days?
Yep.
And that was $6,800
US.
Yeah,
Yep.
so that's a saving of $2,000. Look, if you're in Perth, it's a great opportunity.
And we have lots of Perth listeners on board that are screaming out for cruises out of Perth. And this is a beautiful ship, Silver Sea's Silver Moon. It's brand new, isn't it?
I think it's fairly new. I'd have to look up the
like
year.
Last year or something.
Yeah, it's fairly new. But look, it's a great ship. And if you're in Perth, you're going to go to your favourite place. Well, most of us all love Bali and Singapore. It's a great trip.
Yeah, sounds very good. Very interested in that one. Now, this story will interest a lot of our older podcast listeners. And
I don't know about being older. I'm interested in this.
I know there's a few of you out there. Listen to this. Sharon Lane.
Hi, Sharon.
A 77-year-old retired teacher from California sold her home and moved aboard the Villa V Odyssey. It's a 600-foot residential cruise ship. She boarded the ship in June with plans to spend the next 15 years living at sea. Her decision was driven by a desire for a simpler, more peaceful lifestyle, free from daily chores and rising living costs in California. She purchased an interior cabin for around $129,000, which gives her a place to live throughout the ship's 15-year global journey. God, I hope they're going to do some refurbishments along the way. 15 years is a long time. The cruise will visit 425 destinations across 147 countries, spending roughly 2 days at each port. Now, that's amazing, isn't it? Because most cruise ships rarely stay more than the day at a cruise port. Sometimes they'll stay one night, but they're going to stay at least 2 days at each port. On top of this, on top of the cabin cost, Sharon pays a monthly fee of about $2,000 to $3,000, which covers meals, drinks, internet, housekeeping, medical services, laundry, and entertainment.
Good on you, Sharon. I think this is a great option, except I don't know if I could do an inside room. Could you?
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
An inside room.
Interior cabin.
Well, for 15 years, you could probably deal with it, and there's plenty of time to get out on the deck.
I take my hat off to it. Good on you, Sharon. Enjoy your cruising. It's going to be fabulous.
What a great lifestyle decision, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Fantastic. $129,000 for 15 years. Now, seeing that this is the cruise and travel podcast, we also want to let you know about some other things happening in the travel industry. Emirates has announced it will discontinue one of its daily flights between Perth and Dubai. The airline's second direct service between the two cities, which only recommenced in December last year and departs Perth every day at around 6 a.m., is going to be suspended from October the 26th. Those impacted are being rebooked on their other daily flight between Dubai and Perth. That's EK 420 and 421. Which will continue to operate as scheduled on the Airbus A380. The suspension means there will be almost 2,000 less seats per week, and airfares are expected to increase as a result.
Well, you know why this has happened as well? Because Qatar was doing one flight a day, the same time as Emirates at night on an A380. They've changed that now to a 777. But Virgin Australia, which is actually operated with Qatar aircraft and Qatar cabin crew, and they are doing a daily flight. So there's 2 flights a day with Qatar now, and I think Emirates looked and went, we're going to lose some market share. Interesting. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more fight from Emirates and to hold their space.
Yeah, pull your airfares down a tad, especially up the front. And aircraft voyeurs, listen to this. After more than 2 decades of inactivity, the legendary Concorde is preparing to return to the skies by 2026, but this time with a bolder and more efficient new design.
Is this an April Fool's joke?
The new, I don't think so. The new model being developed by Fly Concorde Limited will not just be an updated version, it will represent a paradigm shift in the world of high-speed aviation. It'll feature a lightweight airframe made from advanced composite materials and engines powered by sustainable aviation fuel capable of propelling the aircraft to speeds exceeding Mach 2, more than twice the speed of sound. The new Concorde will fly at an altitude of 60,000 feet, exceeding the limits of conventional commercial aircraft, allowing it to fly above turbulent weather and significantly reducing air resistance. The nose and wings have also been shaped to improve aerodynamics and reduce the sound signature over land. Surely at 60,000 feet, you're not going to hear anything.
Well, I hope not.
I guess that means takeoff and landing, like when it's
When
it's closer.
Do you remember going? Did you ever go and see the Concorde take off and land?
No.
Oh, I did a couple of times in Perth. Wow, it is noisy.
Yeah, that's amazing news for Concorde, one of the world's magnificent aeroplanes. We went and saw it like the Concorde Museum, didn't we?
Yeah, we did in Paris.
There's they've got one there, and you can actually literally get on it. It's so tiny
Oh,
inside,
wasn't it? So small, like the cabin. Like if you go, have you ever been on an F-100, which is a small regional aircraft in WA and the East Coast? It has 2 and 3 seats across. This only had 2 seats over the aisle. Like it was really small, and it really felt quite compact for aircraft.
What does that mean, 2 seats over the aisle?
Well, so 2 seats, aisle, 2 seats.
Yeah, I thought it only had one.
No,
each
they
side.
had 2 and 2.
Right, okay. It was tiny though.
Yeah,
You couldn't stand up if you're on the edge of the.
And there was no lay flat beds or anything like that.
Oh my
that we
God,
have of
no.
these days.
The seats were hideous.
Yeah.
Oh, they were worse than Jetstar's.
I don't know about that. But it was an interesting experience. And the cabin crew galleys, oh my God, they were tiny. It was such a small aircraft. I really would love to see this come back. That would be on my bucket list. All right, now while we're talking about retro aviation eras, catch this. Pan Am, the famous logo, returned to skies this week as a part of a transatlantic luxury tour. The tour was known as Tracing the Atlantic, which took travellers on a circuit from New York to Europe and back on board a privately chartered all-business class Boeing 757 aircraft bearing Pan Am's blue and white insignia. This is incredible. It hasn't been out there for 30 years. Now, the tour, as I said, left New York and is visiting Bermuda, Lisbon, Marseille. It's going to London, Ireland before returning back to New York. Now, the trip was limited to 50 people only. It's all business class. It was very cool. And all the cabin crew were wearing the retro, true Pan Am uniforms, and they were served the traditional, back in its day, Pan Am type food, which was really great.
How much was it?
Oh, do you really want to know that? $59,950 per person. That was the starting price. Remember, it was all business class.
Oh, that's bloody ridiculous.
It was. They had a special price for the singles only, and it cost more, but I won't mention that.
Pan Am ceased operations over 30 years ago, didn't they?
Yeah, it did. And it was, it was one of the iconic airlines around the world. Everyone knew Pan Am. They all, they flew the beautiful 747s. Everyone loved Pan Am back in America. I would love to have gone on them. Now, while Pan Am World Aviation ceased operations, they still have a Pan Am Global Holdings, which continue to manage the defunct airline's intellectual property and licenses. And it was announced in a partnership with Aviation Merchant Bank and a consulting firm, AVI 8 Capital, to explore Pan Am's potential to come back as a scheduled commercial airline. This is really interesting. They're analysing the special aspects of the airline industry, including market dynamics and fleet strategy and operation infrastructure. Let's hope we see Answered Australia come back. I'd love that. Wouldn't that be good?
Wouldn't that be magnificent? Actually, somebody bought
They did
the name this week.
This week. So I'm wondering if this is starting to happen around the world.
What were they going to do with it? I forgot.
They were doing the same thing as what Pan Am were doing. They were holding on to the global name and the logo so they can use it in future.
Right. There you go. Okay, well, the main topic of this week's podcast is 7 reasons to splurge on a suite on your next cruise. Now, if you are a regular cruiser, you'll maybe have seen a door open to a suite every now and then, and you, as you walk past back to your stateroom, you sort of go, one
the
day.
Lucky people.
So, tell us, what are the 7 reasons to splurge on a suite?
Well, the first thing you're going to get when you go to a suite is obviously a much larger room. So your room size on a balcony can vary between, 15 square metres to 19 to 22, depending on the ship. These will start around your 30 square metre mark and up from there. It also means that some of the suites will have a bedroom separate to the lounging area as well. So you're going to get a lot more space in there. But it also gives you some extra benefits, which is like priority embarkation. So on the first day of the cruise, you get to get on early, which is what you want to do. But it also gives you privileges when you're at the wharf as well. So they have special arrival lounges. They have snacks and drinks for you before you get on. You get ushered onto the ship priority, so you'll go through first. So sometimes it's worth doing that because if you can get on at lunchtime for a late afternoon departure, you've got all that time to go and start enjoying the facilities on board the ship.
Yeah, the earlier you can get on, the more value you're getting for your money.
Absolutely. And it also is going to give you different locations on the ship, which, depending on your outlook of that, will be better. Now, some of the cruise ships have their suites at the front or the back of the ship. Now, if you're at the back, you get what we call the wake, which is the waves, which everyone goes, oh, that looks so nice to look out at. Some are at the front because they like to see where they're going. Or some ships put them in the centre of the ship, which gives you the most balanced position. And that is the highest price point on any ship, is in the middle. So whenever you're booking a cruise, always ask your agent whereabouts the rooms are located for that price.
Because that's the most stable area?
It is the most stable, so you get less movement.
Each end is sort of you're going up and down a little bit more if you happen to get into rough seas.
Exactly, but isn't it interesting that most of them will put them at the front of the back?
Most of the suites?
Yeah. When I look at them generally, they're sort of at the front or the back.
Because they're the best view.
They are, and that's what makes it more secluded. And, it gives you a bigger space around. All right, so what about looking at the room perks as well? So sometimes with the suites, you get extra benefits, which are really cool. For Royal Caribbean, in their bathrooms, they have Le Octane products, which we know are very expensive and very nice as well. They also have better robes. They have, sometimes depending on your ship, they'll have mini bars included, like on Viking. Seabourn, I love Seabourn because they do the best, because before your cruise, they'll actually send you out a questionnaire of how you'd like your room preferenced. So like one of the questions is, what spirits would you like in your room? And you get 2 full-size complimentary bottles of spirits. There's a lot of ships now picking up on that as well. Celebrity also comes with a stocked mini bar if you're in a suite, and again with 2 bottles of liquor. It's a really good option. Of course, you're going to get pampered. You're in a suite, so there's going to be additional services, things like having your own butler. Now, what will a butler do for you? They will come in and unpack your suitcases. They'll also serve you private meals on your balcony. I'd love that idea. They'll also become your concierge, or they'll have a concierge desk there where you can book all your tours that you're going into port. They'll organise your dinners. Basically, they're like a bit of a PA. If you need something, you ask your butler or you go to your concierge desk. They'll also give you priority to disembark and embark. So when you go into port, you'll be able to get off whenever you want, where you don't have to sometimes queue, which is always great. The other thing is they do give you priority, depending on the ship, theatre seating. Now, this is really important because how many times have we rocked up and gone, oh, my God, we're not even going to get a seat together in the theatre? Mainly because we've been at dinner for too long and forgot to go to the show early enough. But that's a really, really cool option to have. So there's lots of great benefits. Another one is, and this is becoming very popular with cruise ships, is having what we call a ship within a ship or a hotel within a ship, which means these suites get extra additional priority facilities like having your own retreat on the Celebrity. So that is a resort area with its own pool, own sun deck. It has its own bar. So you're going to be in a much less people going into that area. So it's a smaller, more secluded, specialised area. They'll also have, I know on Celebrity, they have the Retreat restaurant, Luminaire, and they also have their own lounge bar, which is a really cool space. Now, they're not the only ones. They also have it on Sanctuary. On Princess, they call it the Sanctuary, same sort of thing. And on Norwegian, they have the Haven. And their Haven is really impressive, especially on the new ships. Some of the cruise ships will actually have more complimentary dining options for you. So they may give you, instead of having to pay for the complimentary or the specialty restaurants, you're going to get them included in it as well. And then, of course, as I mentioned, they do all have their own specialty restaurants.
Okay. All right. So there's 7 reasons to splurge on a suite.
It is.
On your next cruise.
And you can get all the information from that on our cruise magazine on 101cruise.com.au.
That's right. We'll put all of that info into a blog and you'll find it in the 101 Cruise magazine. And of course, as the ship comes in, that means we're going to tell you all about her, and particularly a brand of cruise line that I've never heard of before today called Margaritaville At Sea.
I know. Now,
what the hell is that?
Well, first thing you're going to think about is a margarita, isn't it? A margarita at sea, and that's going to be the tricky part. So, look, we got access to selling this cruise line this week, so I thought this is a great opportunity to profile them and have a chat and find out where they've come from and what they're all about.
Well, of course, Margaritaville
Yes.
is a very famous song by Jimmy Buffett.
Funny you said that because this is all related around Jimmy Buffett. So back in 1984, a group of friends of Jimmy Buffett's decided they would open up a nightclub. And so they started up JB Margaritaville. And so Jimmy actually agreed to perform at the nightclub one night every year. So, and he would do that for 3 years, and that was to get him up and running. Now, look, the brand then really grew from there, and then they took on a fast food chain of hamburgers, and that really took off for them. And that was back in 2010. And then they grew even more by actually adding in hotels. So they started off with their first hotel, and then they have moved on to 15 hotels around the US and the Caribbean. Now, we know that because we watch Wheel of Fortune, the US version, and they always seem to have holidays at Margaritaville.
How dare you? I do not.
Oh,
you watch it.
Do. Who yells out the answers?
I watch it because you're watching it.
Oh, it's every night at 6 o'clock when we're having dinner.
No,
right?
it's not. It's
more
in
like
the
7.
afternoon and we record it and then watch it.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah.
You do. Sorry, you do.
Uh-huh. And who yells out the letters?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In 2021, they announced a partnership with Bahama Paradise Cruise Line, which they then started up. So their first cruise ship was Paradise at Sea, and that came from Costa Cruises, their Classica. It carried 1,680 passengers and 722 passengers. Then they got Islander, which also came from Costa Cruises, which was Atlantica. So they hold 2,650 passengers with 897 crew. And they're getting a third ship, which will launch in 2026, and that's going to be their largest ship so far. They're getting it from Costa, and it will be from Costa Fortuna, which is still sailing, and then they're going to refurb it and they're going to rebrand it. Now, that ship will have 3,450 passengers and 1,200 crew. Now, what I love about them is it's a really relaxed, cool sort of ship. It's taking away some of those barriers other traditional cruise lines are like. So the rooms, if you're thinking, oh my God, it's a Costa ship, yes, it is, but they refurbish them and they're really, really cool. So their decor in the ships are like a Caribbean feel, blues, sunlit yellows, and warm beachy tones. They're very surfy looking and very much holiday. It's really interesting when you look at the rooms. Most of them have actually floorboards, which they don't do on cruise ships. They're always carpet. I really love that. And the rooms are really nice sizes. They obviously have complimentary restaurants, which is Finn's and the buffet, and of course a cheeseburger in Paradise Bar, which is based on the Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville. Oh, I can't say that. You're going to have to edit that bit out. Margaritaville, yes, absolutely. And of course, they play a little bit of Jimmy Buffett on board as well. Now, the Paradise has 7 bars on board. Islander has 11. So there's lots of places to go drinking on board. Mm-hmm. As I said, the rooms are really funky and cool and really well designed. Their suites are great. I think they're a really good size. But what the best thing about them, their pricing of it is reasonable. So I'm going to give you a special shortly. But when I looked at these prices, I went, oh my God, they're so heavily discounted. No. Their pricing is really good. So great for families because you're going to be able to afford a really cool cruise around the Caribbean. So shall we look at, they do entertainment too. Their entertainment's pretty good and they have a couple of specialty productions. One of them's Jimmy Buffett and there was another one as well that they do, which is really cool. So I can't remember.
What's the Jimmy Buffett musical? Is it him just sitting down, writing one song and then singing it?
No. Well, I don't know. How many songs does he have? He had one.
Well, one hit. I'm sure he made lots of albums.
Well, they sort of made out.
No disrespect, Jimmy.
So that leads us into, let's do our deal of the week, deal number 3, because it's going to be on.
Here we go.
A little bit early, but it's on Margaritaville Islander. It's a 7-night cruise departing on the 14th of September. You're going to go from Port Tampa Bay, Florida, back to Tampa Bay, Florida, going to visit Costa Maya, Key West, Florida. So now an ocean view room would normally set you back $920 per person US, but at 101 Cruise, we have it on at $553 US per person. That's a saving of $367. But folks, when you look at the price per day, that's only $79 US per day. Now that's really cheap around the Caribbean.
Yeah.
So that's what I was trying to stress about the pricing of the ship. It's reasonable. And look, if you want to really lash out, you can go into a suite. And I did this deliberately to give you the price comparison. Now, normally they would be $2,780 US per person. But at 101 Cruise, we have it on at $1,483 US per person, a saving of $1,297. Now, that is for a suite, which comes out at $212 a day. Now, that's what you're going to pay on most cruise ships for a balcony room or even ocean view.
And we just gave you 7 reasons to splurge on a suite. Yeah. So there you go. There's a really good price for one.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, looking at great pricing, got a really cool deal with Celestial Cruises. Now, this is a cruise line that not a lot of people will know about. It's a Greek cruise line out of Europe, and they are really good as well. So aboard Celestial Journey, your guests will expect a warm welcome, mid-sized ship with authentic Greek hospitality. Facilities include 2 main restaurants, casual dining options, multiple bars and lounges, and a wellness centre. Now, this cruise is a 7-night cruise departing on the 27th of September. It's from Athens to Athens in Greece. You are going to cruise through Crete, Santorini, Mykonos, and Milos. And these are great pricing. An ocean view room would normally set you back in US dollars $6,796 per person, but at 101 Cruise, at the moment, it's $929 per person. That's a whopping $5,800 saving.
Incredible.
It's incredible, isn't it? It's 86% off, or $133 per person per day. look at Junior Suite, as we talked about. We're pushing the suites. They're normally $8,756 per person, but at 101 Cruise, we've got it on at $2,429 per person. Now, that's a saving of over $6,000 US, or 72% off, and it comes out at $348 per person per day. A great saving again. So a really good option to look at.
Of course, there's other rooms available, other types of rooms.
In actual fact, on this cruise, it is only Ocean View and the Junior Suite. There is another suite above it that's available, but it was obviously a little bit more expensive.
And if you work for an airline, if you are airline staff, contact Paul and he will find you probably an even better price.
Absolutely. Just remember, all of the prices that we've mentioned today are in US dollars and they're valid at the 1st of October. Everything is subject to availability and change.
And for those people that are still there wondering about what pineapple magnets means.
Well, I'm surprised, and I'm really happy that you waited to the last minute to listen into what pineapple magnets mean. So if you put a pineapple magnet on your door, it means that you're interested in being swingers.
Oh,
I know.
Come on. I'm
Now,
not putting that on the podcast.
There's more. You need to Google it and have a look. But if you put it upside down, it has another meaning as well. Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, let's get out of here. Remember, you can get access to all the deals by signing up to our newsletter at 101cruise.com.au. Once you've signed up and you've got access inside the website, there are heaps of articles in the 101 Cruise magazine section, like what we've talked about today. If you missed any of the detail and you want to check it out again, go to the blog. It's 7 reasons to splurge on a suite for your next cruise. And another one that might interest you while you're in there is 10 different cabin locations to avoid on a cruise ship.
It's a really good read, that one. Now, don't forget, whether you book a cruise through us or not, you can always buy travel insurance via our website. It's NIB Travel Insurance, which is one of the best.
And trust us, you'll find it hard to beat the rates we can get for you, especially if you're in the airline industry, but even for everyone who doesn't work inside the airline industry. Compare us with any other travel insurance provider and you'll see.
On our next episode, we're going to tell you about hacks on how to save money on board your next cruise.
For more, go to 101cruise.com.au and sign up for the newsletter and to get access to the site. You can also follow us on Facebook at 101 Cruise and on Instagram at 101 Cruises.
See you, Rolf.